Good evening.
Remind me to tell you something.
Claira, say good evening and sit down.
Good evening. And remind me to tell you something.
Yeah, sit down, Claira. Before we go any further, perhaps we ought to introduce ourselves. I'm Charles Danbee, and this is Claira.
Yes. You do realise we've been married nearly 10 years next Thursday a week on Monday.
Was that what you wanted to tell me about?
Sorry?
Hmm?
Oh, no. What I wanted to ask you was, did I ever tell you about Maisie Hornbeam's pony?
You never knew anybody called Maisie Hornbeam.
Yes, I did, clever draws. And she had this pony. Actually, it was a mare. Well, anyway, the only male she ever fancied was one, and that was this Irish cob.
Yes, yes.
Well, the other day, I was trying to think of a way of describing how you and I met and fell in love and everything, and I immediately thought of Maisie Hornbeam and her thoroughbred mare.
The obvious corollary.
Yes, and talking of those, I saw one of your exes in the hairdresser's today.
Yeah, this won't take long, excuse me. My ex is what?
One of your ex-moths, Penny, the one with the little moustache.
My old girlfriends are referred to as moths because, according to some people, they were all a little dim and rather nocturnal in their habits.
Most of them were pretty heavy on clothes as well.
Yeah, except Gloria.
Oh, no, Gloria wasn't at all heavy on clothes. She never kept them on long enough to wear them.
All right, all right. Yeah, perhaps we ought to get back to Maisie Hornbeam and her pony.
Perhaps we ought. Yes, well, anyway, her connections had great hopes for her. But Maisie Hornbeam's pony just wasn't interested in anything they had to offer until one day when this Irish cob arrived slap bang in the field next door, and before you could say Godolph in Arabian, she jumped over the fence, and now they've got this foal and everything.
But that was nothing like the way we met.
Well, of course it is, Seedy. You just don't see it, that's all.
Well, it's just so flattering, all this comparison with a great horse.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Seedy, stop being so wet. It's a lovely story. He won Cobb with the nicest face at the pony club.
Not me, the horse, this one.
I was only trying to think of a way of describing how we met the very first time and fell in love and everything.
Well, what's wrong with the way it actually was? Now, the very first time we met was when you came to Freddie's awful party at Hampstead. I opened the door.
Don't. I get so muddled when I think of Hampstead.
Why do you get muddled when you think of Hampstead, Claire?
Well, because to me it seems exactly like Basingstoke. Except it hasn't got a cathedral.
Neither has Basingstoke.
Honestly? Well, it's no wonder I get muddled. I mean, I may not have many O-levels, but I recognise a cathedral when there isn't one. I was in such a sweat before this party. I hardly knew Freddie, and I imagined this huge room filled with chandeliers and bosoms. And I hadn't got a thing to wear.
To coin a phrase.
Well, not the sort of thing you can wear in Hampstead.
You look like a cross between Mother Courage and a blanket bath.
I know, it's awful, isn't it? But if you look carefully, you'll see that it isn't a blanket because it's pleated. And that's not something that blankets do easily.
Didn't fancy dress, you know.
I'm sorry, but I was in such a hurry, I just pulled up my tent pegs and came as I was.
You better come in. We need a bit of comic relief.
Oh, how do you do, Claira Burrell?
I'm not Claira Burrell.
Oh, sorry?
No need to be. I quite prefer the name I've got, Charles Danbee, Claira Burrell.
Everybody looks frightfully serious.
Yes, well, it's that sort of party, I'm afraid. Freddie's parties are always a bit like this.
bit like I imagine breakfast at the Kremlin.
Yeah, slightly on the talky side.
Do you think I'd have a drink? I'm afraid I'm not much good till I'm a bit tiddly.
Cheers.
Here's mud in your hatch.
Well, I'm glad I brought you in from the cold. Claira Burrell? Would you like to mingle? Meet one or two self-employed Marxists?
Oh, do you mind if I don't? I'm afraid I'm not awfully good at parties. As soon as I'm introduced to somebody, they usually remember a rather pressing funeral. Actually, gatherings of this kind rather make me want to flee to Paris and starve to death in a gibbet.
Garrett?
I feel terribly hemmed in.
You'd feel even worse on a gibbet.
Actually, I once did run away from the most frightful party when I was 15.
No? Oh, where did you run to?
Paris, of course.
Didn't your parents mind?
Oh, no, they're awfully good about it. They sent over a box of stomach powders and 6 woolly vests.
That's the only thing to do. The empire was built on gastric remedies and sensible underclothes.
Actually, they couldn't have behaved better, particularly under the circumstances.
Oh?
It was their party.
Careful.
Sorry?
We mustn't be heard to be enjoying ourselves. Funny how the English hate what they call rowdiness, but can put up with any amount of noise. By the way, will you marry me?
I'd quite like something to eat, actually. Sorry.
What would you say sorry for? That was his fault.
I don't know, it's the way I was brought up, I suppose. Don't forget your P's and Q's and always say thank you for having me.
Oh, yes.
Well, for want of a better word. Hello? Anybody at home? Let me out.
Pardon?
Let me out, 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 let me out. They keep these empty as long as they can so they can put the rents up. Have a sausage.
Thank you. Everybody looks as though they're chewing the cud over something frightfully important.
Won't you believe it? Gossip more likely. Who's been doing what and with which and to whom?
Sorry?
What are you sorry about this time?
I don't understand what that means.
Hello, people!
Hello.
Sweetheart.
Hello, Freddie.
Dearest thing, you simply must come over here at once. There's an important producer you simply have to sleep with.
Didn't think it was possible to be a producer and important.
A beloved person. He was the audience at your play tonight.
Ah. Ah, well, in that case, duty calls. Won't be a shame, please.
You're an actor.
Well, for want of a better word, yeah.
Are you in a play at the moment?
Now, more of a prison sentence. A little piece by Brecht.
I thought that was some sort of Swiss breakfast cereal.
Very good. Look, I won't be long. Will you,
Oh, I'll be fine.
Really?
No, really. I'll get myself 2 fingers of red-eye from the bar, jangle my spurs, and pick my teeth a bit.
All right, well, I'll be back as soon as I can to go over the wedding arrangements.
No hurry. I've got lots of teeth.
Really? Yes.
sorry, this is a non-smoker.
I'm only here for your illumination. Now then, what's all this I hear about our impending nuptials? Is it true it was love at first sight?
How was the producer you had to seduce? Didn't he like your acting?
He said,
I really must come and see your play sometime.
I told him he'd already seen it. This is a frightful party.
Absolutely. Have a book.
No thanks, I'm trying to give him up.
Brown Owl always used to say that reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body.
How disgusting. There's more to you than meets the eye, isn't there?
That's why I always travel under canvas.
I read a book once, all about love and kissing.
What was it called?
It was called All About Love and Kissing. But it gave me these ideas, you see.
Did it? What sort of ideas?
Well, you're not going to like this.
You were wrong.
Was I?
Afraid so.
I don't mind.
No, neither did I. I mean, it wasn't exactly an art movie kiss.
No.
You know, the sort of thing people give each other on the screen and you're jolly glad it's not you.
Yeah, well, what we call in the trade lip bashing.
But there was something. I mean, things don't go all pink for nothing.
Pink.
Absolutely pink.
More reddish, I thought.
You are older.
But pink. Excuse me.
Certainly.
Pink.
Definitely pink. Very, very, very pink.
You've got to face up to this, number one. This is not just one of those things.
Oh, come on. We've only known each other half a party.
May I remind you that Mark Antony had never met Cleopatra before the first time he clapped eyes on her?
Exactly. Exactly. Look what happened to them.
Yeah, you're so right. They had her.
No, honestly, they're not exactly an advertisement for rushing into getting married. And what about that poor woman who turned into a swan?
Hang on a minute. Who said anything about getting married?
You did. You've been going on about it all evening.
No, I haven't. What did I say?
Will you marry me?
I thought you'd never ask.
Have you decided on a drink yet, sir?
Go on then, pint a bitter. No, I'll take that back. On second thoughts, you better make that a good impression. Medium dry appearance. Sherry. Fine dry sherry. Thank you, if you don't mind. Anything you have like that'll do. Anything to suit the suit. Pint of bitter would hardly fit the image, old man. Not exactly an overdose, is it? I mean, that would hardly pass as a drink to a tired legionnaire.
Oh, we get very few of those in here now, thanks to the flyover.
If that's all you give them to drink, I'm not surprised.
Finest Amontillado. Very popular drink, Amontillado. That's over 12 years old.
And it's very small for its age. Is that really the time? Why are women always so blasted late? It's one of the hard facts of life that women are never on time. And do you know why women are never on time?
Because they're usually late, sir.
Right, right. Do you know what Oscar Wilde had to say about women? Very little. You don't want to pay any attention to me, I'm just cracking up. Perhaps you'd like to serve this gentleman first. Excuse me. Didn't you used to be Claira Burrell?
Yes, I know. I'm sorry I'm late, but there's this woman on the bus with this bicycle. Actually, Oscar Wilde did have something to say about women.
What on earth are you wearing?
He said there are only two kinds of women, the plain and the coloured.
You look like some relic from a disbanded Irish folk group.
Do I? Royal thought this would be what he called suitable togs.
Suitable togs?
Suitable togs for having a drink with an actor. Do you think I could have a drink?
Who is Royal?
Oh, nobody, just somebody who works for us.
Actors don't dress like that, you know. Can I get you a drink?
I didn't think they dressed like that either.
Like what?
Well, the only people who wear suits nowadays are criminals and people who sell insurance.
I put this on for you.
And I put this on for you.
15 all. All right, let's have a drink. Excuse me.
Pint of beer, please.
2 dry sherries, please.
And a pint of beer.
Who's needs the beer for?
Irish folk group.
Hang on a minute. What is it now?
Why should there be anything? I like beer. I think.
Not a pint, Clara.
Yes. I don't mind if it's a smallish sort of pint if they have...
Well, why don't you try half a pint first?
Oh, no. Honestly, you won't catch me drinking half pints.
All right. 2 pints, please. Don't forget these sherries, if you can find them.
No, honestly, I can drink pints like there was no yesterday.
Particularly when suitably togged.
You must tell Royal you liked it. He'll be so pleased. It was all his idea. Not that anything much pleases Royal, except somebody falling down a manhole. He said you'd probably be the sort to like me to be one of the boys. Men are like that, he said. Particularly actors, because a lot of them like boys.
I'd like to meet this Royal. Sounds a bit of a philanthropist.
Thank heavens for him. I mean, there's nothing I should hate more than to stick out like some sore thumb at a Jewish wedding.
I've often wondered what it was like taking out one of the gentry.
Oh, what's her name? It might be somebody I know.
I'm going to sit down now because things are beginning to go round and round.
Did you really put on your whistle and pears just for me?
Now you have completely lost me.
Rhyming slang. You know rhyming slang, surely. Whistle and pears, stairs.
Whistle and flute. Got it, yes, of course. Suitably togged.
Correctly turned out.
Yeah. On parade, which brings me to my next point. When are you going to take me home?
Oh, are you still feeling dizzy?
To meet your parents.
Oh, no, look here. We only met one party ago, and now all you want to do is sort of marry me.
No sort of about it.
Aren't you rather rushing things a bit?
Oh, no, I don't want to rush you, Clara. I can wait till you've finished your beer.
In my parents' day, people had to have these incredibly long engagements and practically have grandchildren before they'd even hope to get married.
What cobblers?
What?
Cobblers.
What cobblers?
What do you mean, what cobblers?
Oh,
say anything of the sort.
Oh, no. Sorry, I said they had incredibly long engagements, and you said what cobblers?
No, I said what cobblers. They're cobblers' alls.
I don't see where they live's got to do with it.
The cobblers' alls. A-W-L-S. Rhyming slang, like whistle and flute.
Whistle doesn't rhyme with flute.
No. Cobbler's alls rhymes with something else.
Does it? No, it doesn't rhyme with that either.
Apple and pears, stairs. Whistle and flute, suit. Cobbler's alls.
Sorry? Really? Heavens. What are they?
Surely you know what...
No. I mean, I do sort of, yes. In a manner of speaking. But I tend to get things rather muddled. You know, rather like who does which, when, and whatever. You see what I mean?
Who does which, when, and whatever?
You don't mean to say that you've... I mean, you must have seen a cove in the altogether, huh?
Absolutely. The point is, you see, I've often heard people saying things, but I've never quite liked to ask them what the things were, and which bit was which.
And now it's too late.
Yes, people would laugh. You were laughing.
I wasn't laughing.
I think you were, really.
Come on, Clara, let's go. You haven't touched your beer.
I know. I only really like dry sherry. Where are we going?
We're going for a biology lesson.
You do realise we hardly know anything about each other. I mean, we ought to be asking each other all sorts of pathetic things, really, like, how old are you? And what's your second name? And how did your middle finger go that funny shape?
I know everything about you.
Human beings are not like dogs. One sniff does not reveal all.
I know everything about you, and you know everything about me.
Do I?
Except for one thing. There is one thing about me that I think you ought to know before we go very much further.
What?
How much I love you.
I think that statue was a great help.
Yes, it was. They all were. Didn't we finish up in front of Rodin's The Kiss?
We did, but she'd got the idea by then.
There was rather a dodgy patch when he showed me the Henry Moores.
Well, yes, it can be a bit confusing to beginners in biology.
My friend Worcester was exactly the same. She didn't know who did which and whatever either. She just thought that something nice happened in the dark and then you smoked a cigarette.
Anyway, no such problems for you. I mean, thanks to that statue.
Oh, yes. He was nice. But, can I tell you something?
Well, it depends how much time we've got. Actually, I don't know.
Promise you won't be hurt or anything.
No, I promise.
Because, I mean, I really did think that statue was terrific and everything.
Yes?
And I shall always remember that statue.
I mean, Clara, what is it? Out with it.
Well, I think I'd have liked him
even more if he'd been wearing his whistle and pears.